Let's go to the other Saturday night game, the Dogs and the Roos, where the Roos gave them a bit of a scare. They showed a bit of maturity that maybe we haven't seen just yet, but late or early in that last quarter, we saw the Dogs really come to the fore, and Matty Kennedy was a big part of it as well.
Yeah, his first game for the club, coming from Carlton across the course of the off-season, and has that one off the ground, which sets it up. That's a great soccer move there from Matty Kennedy, and these 3 goals they kicked in 6 minutes to start the last quarter, and that really took the game away from North Melbourne. Matty Kennedy, of course, setting up Aaron Norton there as well. So, for the Dogs, I mean, they're missing Marcus Bontempelli, they're missing Liam Jones, Adam Treloar, Cody Waitman, Jason Johannesson, a lot of experience coming out of that side. But I guess for them, the important thing would be some of their youngsters stepped up, and we're going to get to the experience of both of these sides in just a little bit. But Joel Frazier had some really important moments early in that last quarter. Riley Sanders kicked that goal, so that'd be the most promising thing to take out of this one for the Western Bulldogs.
In terms of that injury list, the 2 guys that were on it right up until the final buzzer in Ed Richards and Bailey Dale, and Bulldog supporters will be thanking their lucky stars that both of them were out there today.
Yeah, I was out at the Whitten Oval last week, and when both Ed Richards and Bailey Dale made it through that final training session before this game, I mean, there was a few sighs of relief. Marcus Bontempelli not on the side would mean Ed Richards had played through the midfield. He was just about best on ground, 30 disposals, 7 clearances and a goal. And then Bailey Dale, who had the quad problem going into it, he was another one who was touch and go, 29 touches and 2 goals. I mean, if both of these guys had missed, the Dogs would have been without all of their top 5 finishes in last year's best and fairest. So they needed these guys there tonight. They proved crucial in the win. They were just about 2 of the best players on the ground, and they made North Melbourne pay at crucial moments when the score was relatively close. I mean, you can see there Bailey Dale kicks that classy goal. That was right when North Melbourne was coming in this one. So 2 really massive positives for the Dogs there going into the season.
You probably expect the Dogs to get up in this one, and the narrative is that they're the experienced side that consistently plays finals, and the Roos are on the way up. But we've crunched the numbers on this, and maybe they're not as dissimilar as you might think.
Well, it's not as you might think, as you mentioned. So North Melbourne's slightly younger, but in terms of games, way more experience than the Western Bulldogs. The Dogs had more players with less than 50 games, and they had less players with more than 100 games, which just goes to show, I think that's a question mark over North Melbourne. I mean, a lot of the commentary around North Melbourne going into the season was, when are they going to take this next step? It's the 3rd year under Alistair Clarkson. He named a couple of examples in pre-season around, right, this is when Brisbane took the next step and became a huge premiership side. This is when Hawthorn, under his guidance in 2007, made the finals for the first time, had that really good win over Adelaide. That's when they took the next step. I think everyone thought that was going to be it for North Melbourne, but given the length of the Western Bulldogs injury list today, I think this is a real chance for North Melbourne to start the season on the right track. And they showed signs, but I think the fact they couldn't win, I mean, everyone's waiting for them to go to that next level. They still haven't got it yet. And I think that'd be the real frustration coming out of this one for North Melbourne, just that they haven't gone to that next level just yet.
A sickening incident towards the end of the game between Luke Cleary and Jackson Archer. You know, that's what happens in footy. There's incidents like that, but it was pretty troubling to see Luke Cleary motionless on the ground there. We do have a bit of information on that. He's been taken to hospital, but in the rooms after the game, he was up on his feet and moving around before taken away for a bit of a precautionary check. Not good to see that in the game.
No, it was just brutal, wasn't it? I mean, I think the match review will probably look at it. They have to look at everything, and especially incidents where there are big head knocks. I don't know exactly what the outcome will be there, because it seemed like it was a football incident, and Jackson Archer limped off as well. He came back onto the field later in the game, but you just hope that for the best for Luke Cleary, because it's really scary when you see incidents like that in the football field.